Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are all doing well, and really it's an honor being with you here today. And I'm very grateful for these 3 days of shared learning and reflections and also connections. Let me begin by introducing myself. I am Omar Najjar. I am medical doctor who graduated from the Islamic University of Gaza in 2023. And then I worked in Gaza hospital up till May 2024 when I forced to leave Gaza to Egypt under special circumstances. I'm not here to talk about the genocide that the world is witnessing in real time with sound and images. I'm also not here to talk about more than 60,000 people who were killed during this genocide. I'm also not here to talk about more than 1,200 healthcare workers who have been killed while working and doing their duties in the genocide. I'm also not here to talk about more than 380 healthcare workers who have been detained during this genocide. And especially I would mention my friend Dr. Mus'ab Sam'an. He was working with me in Nasser Hospital, and I've pledged to mention his name in every space I visit until we hear news of him. So today, actually, let me start by before talking about the All Sophia Short program, let me start to talk about a personal reflection at the moment when I was working in Gaza. So exactly 76 weeks ago, I posted this Instagram post while I was working in Gaza, exactly January 23rd, 2024. After a long, devastating night shift at the Kuwaiti hospital in Rafah, I went to check in on my family, who like so many others were living in tents in Rafah. And I remember standing there surrounded by makeshift shelters or tents and watching the children play in the dust and the elderly silent stare into nothing. And I was wondering at the time, what are we even hoping for anymore? Is it survival? But what kind of survival? Physical survival? Is it only the physical survival? Yes, we might make it through with our bodies intact, at least me. My family are still stuck there. But what about our minds and our souls, our hearts? What about the part of us that make us feel human? Do they have any chance of making it through? Will they survive? I couldn't stop thinking about that question. So I kept seeing in the eyes of children who lost their parents, in the silence of mothers and fathers sitting beside empty beds, not knowing how to go in. That pain doesn't leave you. And also somewhere in those days while I was working in the Kuwaiti hospital in Rafah, I turned to an old book. I read it again. It's called Hiroshima. It's a book published by John Hersey in 1946, I think, after the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. And it tells the story of 6 people who survived the atomic bomb. And what struck me wasn't just their physical survival. It was the question they kept asking themselves afterward. Why did I survive while so many others didn't? It's a question I found myself asking too, especially as I looked around and saw so many families broken apart, so many lives changed forever. And then As I mentioned before, in May 2024, I was forced to leave Gaza. And Alhamdulillah, I arrived physically safe to Egypt. But mentally and emotionally, I was still trying to make sense of everything I had witnessed. And there in Egypt, I joined this program, also Sophia Assured program. It's a psychosocial support program for people who are affected by crises and disasters. And today, I'm here to present this program to you. Before beginning, allow me to briefly walk you through our agenda today. We will start talking about the background of the Sophia Assured program, and then I will talk about who we are and our important program pillars. Okay, I think most of us agrees on that in crisis and disasters, damage is not only the physical damage, and it cuts deeply into the emotional and psychological fabric of the people's life and of the society. And according to the WHO, around 22% of individuals living in conflict zones suffer from mental health conditions. And also a recent study, but published in 2024, found that 41% of children and 41% of adults showed signs of depression, and similar rates were seen for PTSD and anxiety. These numbers are not just statistics, they represent real human suffering. And unfortunately, from our own experience working directly with the affected community over the past year, especially the people or the Gazan people who were displaced to Egypt during this genocide, we believe that these figures are even higher, and that the demand for a comprehensive psychological support is not only an urgent, but it's a growing need. So who we are, our Arabic name is Wahid al-Mutma'innin, which is roughly translated to the oasis of reassured. It symbolizes like a space in the midst of crisis. And the program is led by mental health professionals serving individuals and families affected by the crisis, and especially this war or genocide that's unfolding in Gaza Strip. And our approach blends the evidence-based psychological care, of course culturally rooted, with the community-centered healing practices to foster the well-being and the long-term recovery. And from a sociological perspective, it is well established that prolonged wars and the crises deeply damage the fabric of the societies. And this is what the well-known Arab sociologist Ibn Khaldun emphasized in his book. That is why culturally relevant interventions are not just preferable, but they are essential. They help anchor individuals in their identity and heritage, and fostering the resilience and protecting generations from losing their sense of belonging amid external influence. And as one of the authors of the Assured program with children described in this handmade artwork that appear in the right side of the screen, writing اتخذ من الأمل مصباحا ينير الطريق, which means let hope be a lamp that lights the way. And our program is built on 4 pillars. The first one is psychological support unit. The second one is one-on-one counseling therapy. The third one is community-based mental health awareness. And finally, and the important one is the capacity building and training. Our first pillar is, I was supposed to play this video that's reflect, it's a short 3 minutes videos that reflect the heart of the work in Egypt, but I will save it for the end if we still have time. The first pillar is psychological support unit, in which we offer the psychological structured support services, and we are focusing on 4 core areas. First thing is the healing, in which we provide a safe space, at least because now we are working in Egypt, so the people can process and recover from the psychological impact of the war. And secondly, the resilience, in which we develop key skills that help the people, especially the children, with the stress and ongoing challenges. And third thing is empowerment, that is guiding individuals to discover their inner strength, talents, and potential, and finally the purpose. So we ultimately supporting people in finding meanings and direction through plans that foster the social connections and the positive contribution. What makes these units unique, that we adapt the structured psychological support services, in which we do it through an organized classroom setting and its integration to the educational process. So it's an intentional approach that provides psychosocial learning environment where emotion and social development are fostered alongside the academic growth. And in the second pillar, which is the one-on-one counseling and therapy, we offer these sessions across all areas and tracks of the program. So between March and May, which is the second phase of the program in Egypt, we conducted over than 930 individual therapy sessions for the displaced Palestinians in Egypt. Most of them are children. And around 120 children directly benefited from these sessions, including 20 serious cases involving both physical symptoms, such as the nocturnal enuresis, which is the involuntary urination during sleep at night, and other serious mental disorders, including the conduct disorders like aggression that result because of the war and the horror that the children have been through during this war. And also in parallel, we also provided 150 sessions for the teachers and caregivers for those children. Our third session, our third pillar, is the community-based mental health awareness. I think this is one of the most special aspects of our program, because we work with the entire ecosystem for the children themselves, for their caregivers, and also for their Palestinian children and psychosocial facilitators. So it's a holistic model that reflects our core belief, which is resilience is relational. And also between March and May, in the second phase of our program in Egypt, we delivered 57 tailored workshops for this wider community, equipping them with the tools to better support children emotionally and in order to achieve the psychological support. Our final or fourth pillar, which is the capacity building and the research activity, in which we place a great emphasis on strengthening our team through training and continuous professional development platform. We have the Offices of Reassured Academy. It's a platform in which we improve the professional development of the staff, and most of the staff are also Palestinians who displaced from Gaza, from the psychologist, psychosocial facilitator, and also the field coordinator. So we are creating a new environment and what I've mentioned, the ecosystem for this community displaced to Egypt. And also we are working on the Offices of Reassured Structure Psychological Support curriculum. And it is a comprehensive guide that includes animated stories, exercises, and structured content. And this curriculum will serve as a standardized training reference in that field. And it will be also accompanied by a professional training toolkit. In parallel also, in the academic field, we are also planning to launch our academic conference in Egypt in November this year, inshallah, that will be considered as a hub for the interested researchers in that field, and also we will announce some of our researches for the people we are working on this at this time. So our team, as I mentioned, consists of psychologists, psychosocial facilitator, and also program coordinator. Most of them are Palestinian displaced from Gaza. So we are in Egypt now. We have a team of 3 mental health professionals currently serving over than 2,000 children. And also we run the Oasis of We Assured Toward a Brighter Tomorrow, which in Arabic, نحو غد مشرق, in which we provide also a remote counseling sessions, both individual and group sessions, to those affected by this war, but beyond our physical reach, like in Al-Arish, in Bir Al-Abid, in Sina. So this also we are sorry. Okay. Also, we started to work in Gaza City itself, in northern Gaza. We know the war is still there and the trauma is still ongoing in Gaza Strip, but we believe it is critical to act now, even in the midst of the crisis itself, not only to provide what is possible under the current situation or conditions there, but also to assess the real-time needs and to prepare for a full-scale launch of our program in Gaza, inshallah, when the ceasefire will come and the trauma start to end, inshallah. So one of the first initiatives or program taking shape is the Educational Tents program or project, which aims to provide the structural psychological support in northern Gaza in cooperation with the Islamic University of Gaza. And also in parallel, the project itself in Gaza Strip support the teachers and the caregivers themselves of those children. So by helping them begin their own healing journey, we empower them to return to their educational and also the caregiving rules with a renewed emotional capacity that contribute to the creation of responsive and supportive learning environment. So what we are looking forward, or our future plans, is we are committed to leveraging the experience and insight we've gained through our work in Egypt to strengthen and adapt that model, that unique model in Gaza Strip. So our goal is to establish a wider network of psychosocial support units in Gaza Strip so that we can reach most of the affected children in Gaza Strip, and that's why we are now working in Gaza to assess the need and also to provide what we are able to provide in this bad situation here. So let me end with this humanitarian call. So we invite our partners, institutions, and individuals to support this program, especially for the upcoming period, which is the most important period. Now we are working in Gaza with only like 2,000 or 2,500 children, but there are like other thousands of children in Gaza. We are looking forward to provide our special model that is designed for those people who are affected by the war and the crisis and disasters. And if we have, I think we have time to play the video, a short video of 3 minutes that that shows our work or our model in Egypt. Please start it. Could you please share the audio from the video? Are you able to? Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. So, okay, I'm explaining what there's no.
It's just a connection. Huh? Yeah.
Cheers. Okay, could you please replay the video from the beginning?
Going genocide in Gaza. Children are facing severe disruption in their education alongside the widespread of psychological and behavioral disorders. That's why the Oasis of Reassured program was born, to support more than 3,500 Palestinian children across 5 schools with the help of dedicated teams of 30 psychologists, providing psychosocial services tailored to the needs of the Gazan children. We start at the school. We provide structured psychological support services that help in recovering from the negative effects of psychological and behavioral disorders and enhance the psychological and social development of children, enabling them to cope with the frustration and the pressures caused by the war.
وبالنسبة للأطفال الذين يواجهون مشكلات نفسية أكثر تعقيداً، نوفر جلسات علاج فردية سرية يتم تحويل الأطفال من خلال شبكة دعم نشطة تشمل الأهل أو المعلمين أو الداعمين النفسيين، وذلك للمساعدة في التعامل مع حالات مثل الاكتئاب أو اضطراب ما بعد الصدمة أو الاضطرابات النفسية الأخرى.
We believe every child has a gift. We help them discover their talents in art, sports, and even coding and digital creativity, empowering them to become active, productive individuals for themselves and their homeland.
أنا مطور ذكاء اصطناعي وكل شيء تقني ومهندس إلكترونيات وبرضه إلي خبرة بالصيانة. أنا دخلت مسابقة وحدة المطمئنين وطلعت في المركز الأول في المواهب المميزة. طبعا حابب أشكر هذه المؤسسة كثير لأنها ساعدتني على إني أنشر ما في الطلاب. حابب أشكر مؤسسة جيت فور ذا جيفرز على دعمهم لي.
أنا عندي موهبة البرمجة، حصل على بكالوريوس برمجة، حابة أشكر واحد من المطمئنين اللي دعموني وطوروا من موهبتي وكانوا وراء تطويرها وتحفيزي في إني أرجع أبرمج بعد الحرب اللي صارت.
At Oasis of Reassured, we continue to expand our impact by providing psychological support and essential skills to over 300 teachers who work directly with children, empowering them to become a part of a healthier, more supportive environment.
الحمد لله بفضل الله لاحظين تطور كبير في المستوى النفسي لحالات الطلبه بشكل عام بالتوازي مع تحسنهم الاكاديمي. احنا كفريق الدعم النفسي بنشكر جيفت اوف ذا جيفر على الدعم الدائم لنا وان شاء الله بضل متواصل حتى ننهض بالمبادره جميعا في مصلحه الطلبه وبارك الله فيكم.
We at Gift of the Givers remain committed to supporting these vital programs. Together, we help Gazan children heal, grow, and build a brighter future for themselves and for their homeland, Palestine.
Thank you.